Peter Bear was getting lonely at Good Shepherd, since not many people were there, not during the week or even on Sundays. So he came home with Pastor Ingrid most days. He was so looking forward to June 14th, when hopefully some people would be able to start coming back to church. And in the meantime, Peter hung around the house and rode around with Pastor in her car and watched the birds eating from the deck and sometimes helped with chores. Sometimes he helped with the cooking and the baking, and sometimes, especially after helping with cooking or baking, it was his turn to help clean up. Peter Bear enjoyed helping Miss Susan mail out the bulletins each week. But the most fun that Peter had was playing with his friend, Teddy Edwards. They always had a great time building things and playing all kinds of games together. Peter and Teddy had known each other for a long, long time, almost their whole lives, and each one knew what the other one was thinking without anyone having to say it out loud. They knew which games they liked and which ones they didn't like. They knew which foods they liked and which ones they didn't like. Peter and Teddy were best friends. But one day, Pastor Ingrid brought a new bear to live at her house and at the church. This new bear introduced herself as Shen Sheng. Peter and Teddy weren't quite sure what to make of this new development. Shen Sheng was different from Peter and Teddy in many ways. The way she talked was different than the way that Peter and Teddy Edwards talked. At dinner time, she seemed to like different foods than he and Teddy Edwards, although she was polite and tasted everything on her plate. And when it was time for games, Shen Sheng didn't know how to play the games that Peter and Teddy Edwards played, so they had to teach her. That evening, when Shen Sheng was alone in her room, Peter leaned close to Teddy so they could whisper together without anyone hearing them. "She is so different from us, Teddy. How can we be friends with her too? Everything will be so different." Teddy agreed. Everything would be different. 3 friends doing things together. That was a lot different than 2 friends being together, especially 2 friends who had known each other for such a long time. For the next few days, things felt weird. Peter and Teddy missed playing their games together. They missed just knowing what they would do next without having to ask each other. With Shen Sheng around, everything felt different. So Peter decided to pray about how he was feeling. He asked God to help him not feel resentful toward his new friend, and for God to help him understand her better. After praying about how he was feeling, Peter started noticing groups of friends playing in his neighborhood and all around Front Royal, and Peter noticed that the friends who played together were not always the same. Sometimes they were really different from each other. Peter started to realize that the things that make us different from each other can make our friendships even better. Shen Sheng taught Peter and Teddy all kinds of new things, and after just a week had gone by, they were so happy that Shen Sheng was their friend. They were proud to be her friend too.